build relationships with the potential clients and build it based on value. So find out what they care about, and then you can and offer it to them and build genuine rapport. It's not about the weather or the traffic. Ask them real questions so you can get to know them and find out their why. If you find out their why and you can help them with their why, their reason, you win. But their why is not, oh, I want to get fit. There's something behind that. And so you have to go deeper. Well, why do you want to get fit? Well, I want to fit into my skinny jeans. Why do you want to fit into your skinny jeans? And the minute you hear that real answer, you'll know. And then help them create strategies to do that, and you will have a lifetime customer.
You're listening to the Fitness Business Podcast. We'd like to thank this month's premier sponsor, ABC Financial, the leaders in software and payment processing solutions for the health and fitness industry. Welcome along to the Fitness Business Podcast. I'm your host Chantal, and September is our Women in Fitness Month. During the month, we're featuring accomplished and inspiring women from inside and outside our industry. They join us to share their stories, their experience, and their advice so that we can learn, grow, and become better, more successful business professionals. Today's guest is Jennifer Gluckow, CEO and founder of Sales in a New York Minute. Let me tell you about this amazing and super energetic woman. First of all, Jennifer rose through the ranks of a leading Fortune 500 company as a superstar sales representative, national sales manager, and executive director of sales operations. At just 29, she became chief operating officer of a test preparation and admissions counseling company. Then in 2013, she founded Sales in a New York Minute, and now she shares her passion and strategies for success with businesses worldwide and in the classroom. And to add to all of that, Jen also co-hosts the Sell or Die podcast with Jeffrey Gitomer. As you're about to hear, Jen is a bundle of energy, and she has got some great advice to share with us today. In particular, she tells a story about a manager that she once worked for and the reaction that he would have when she didn't get a sale. There's a really important message in the experience that I think you are all going to appreciate. Before we get into this week's show, I want to say thank you to our podcast partner. ABC Financial leads the health and fitness industry in software and payment processing solutions. If you want your business to thrive with the most advanced club management software, comprehensive payment processing, and customer service that is second to none, choose ABC Financial. You can request a demo at www.abcfinancial.com. Okay, so this week's show starts a little bit differently to usual. I started off by asking Jen what's her favorite workout and what role does exercise have on her day, her business, and her life.
My favorite workout, I have a new obsession, and it's called Peloton. Do you know the bike?
Absolutely. We know Peloton, yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So literally, I try to take a class a day. I have favorite instructors. Dennis, if you have a Peloton and haven't taken Dennis, he's amazing. I actually used to ride with him in New York studios until he moved out of New York and now came back. So he's awesome. But a lot of the instructors are amazing. But the cool thing about this, and especially for someone in sales like me who's uber competitive, is that you can compete against others taking the same class all over the world, and you can compete against yourself. So every time I try to beat my personal record. So I literally, before I showered, don't worry, but literally before our podcast, I took a Peloton workout. So I'm like, I want to get my mind going. It's, it's nighttime for me here. And I'm seeing on the screen, okay, 27 minutes in, the last time I had a personal record, my score was let's just say 200, and now it's 205. Oh yeah, I'm beating my record.
What a great feeling.
Amazing. What's that?
What a great feeling.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Anyway, so I highly recommend that. That's my favorite at the moment. Now, your second part to the question was what kind of how does fitness play a role in my everyday routines and business, essentially. Is that right?
That's correct.
So it plays a major role. I went on I'll call it a drought from working out. I just sort of lost some motivation to work out and wasn't doing my normal stuff for a little bit. And my work definitely suffered from it because my mind wasn't as sharp or clear. And so now I it didn't take long to realize like something was missing. What was missing? Oh, it was fitness. And so I got the Peloton so that I wouldn't have the commute time of leaving my house. And that works for me. But, I think find something that works for you, whether it be going to a gym, working out with a trainer, whatever it may be, but challenge yourself and sweat. The key is sweat. It makes you feel so good. And it makes me feel so good after I'm drenched and, and then I go shower, get dressed and go to work. And I'm like, this is going to be a great day. And so it plays a pivotal role.
Yeah. And, I think you said so much to me before when you were saying, oh, I knew that I had this podcast coming up and I wanted to be, I wanted to be firing, I wanted to be ready. So I jumped on my bike, and I think that just says so much for the positive mindset that exercise brings to, to what we do in our working lives. And I should explain to everyone, look, I think 95% of our listeners will know Peloton, but just in case you are listening and you're thinking, what on earth are they talking about? Peloton, basically, you've got a bike sitting in your living room, right? Sitting in your lounge room with a screen on it, and you can go in and select from different instructors and different courses and different challenges, and it keeps all of your data stored, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's all correct. And sometimes it's live classes where there's other people taking it live and the instructor is live. And sometimes it's on demand where you just choose from the library.
Very cool concept. And I think the live classes are filmed in New York, aren't they?
They are. But, I even recommend if you own a gym, look at buying these bikes for your gym.
There you go. Now, let me ask you this, Jen. So in the fitness industry, we have a couple of different areas that sales are relevant. We have membership sales when people are joining the gym. We've got personal training sales. Sometimes we're selling classes. Talk to us about your philosophy behind sales in a New York minute. How can we actually bring those processes or that process into our fitness business?
My strategies into getting customers and building clients, whether it be getting people into classes or, booking more training sessions or getting more memberships, it's all the same. Build relationships with the potential clients and build it based on value. So find out what they care about, and then you can and offer it to them and build genuine rapport. It's not about the weather or the traffic. Ask them real questions so you can get to know them and find out their why. If you find out their why and you can help them with their why, their reason, you win. But their why is not, oh, I want to get fit. There's something behind that. And so you have to go deeper. Well, why do you want to get fit? Well, I want to fit into my skinny jeans. Why do you want to fit into your skinny jeans? And the minute you hear that real answer, you'll know. And then help them create strategies to do that, and you will have a lifetime customer.
One of the biggest fears I think we face in the fitness industry is getting rejected when you're trying to make a sale. And quite often it completely scares us off going back and trying again with the next prospect. What do you do personally when, say, you're doing a sales pitch and you get rejected?
Oh, please. You don't have to be in the fitness industry to not like rejection. Yeah. No one likes rejection, and rejection is tough, but if you're in sales, you're going to get rejected. When I was 18, I was selling Gluckow knives. They're like the best knives on the planet. And I was going to people I knew selling these knives, and then asking them to refer other people they knew who maybe needed knives. No one really needed knives, but they were all kind and referred people. And of course, a lot of people said no to me. And in between sales calls, I was trained to call my manager. And I didn't realize it at the time, but what he was doing in between those calls was, if I lost the sale, he was pumping me back up. He was saying, all right, you lost that one. It's all good. What's your favorite song? Let's play it together. Let's jam it out. And now let's go to the next one, and you're going to rock the next one. And so now for me, that's just ingrained. If I lose a sale, next, you just move on and play something fun, watch something funny, go on Instagram, find a cool inspirational quote, inspirational quote account that you can follow, and just find something that's going to pump you back up and get you in the right mindset to win the next one.
And would you suggest that for managers, that should be part of their relationship with their team members, is to do exactly what you've just described?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was the best thing. I was new to sales, and that was the best thing he could have done for me. But even if I had been doing it for 20 years, knowing that you have someone else on the other line who's on your team, who's ready to pump you back up and help you, is the best feeling in the world. Imagine you lose a sale and you call your boss or you call your best friend or whoever, and you're like, I just lost the sale. They're going to do that automatically, right? If it's your friend. So as a manager, if you do that, oh man, it's going to change. It's going to have such an amazing impact on your team.
I think that's a really good opportunity for us all to kind of reflect on the conversations that we do have with our team when they don't get it, because I don't know, Jen, about you, but I think traditionally I started my career in a different industry, and the reaction was quite the opposite to that. And that is, if you didn't have success in a sale, you were made to feel quite bad about that, as opposed to flipping it around how you're saying. And as a result, I think it made a lot of people quite nervous about having that conversation. So I think it's a good time for us to reflect and think about, okay, so the last time that one of my team members didn't have success in a sale, what was my reaction? What did I say to that person? And, can we take some of those tips that you've just shared with us and implement those and see how the mindset of our team changes with that positive reaction as opposed to a negative one? So thank you very much for sharing those with us, Jen.
Sure thing. The key is bouncing back from the rejection immediately. So if, the reason why I was so successful in my situation was because I called my boss. I was required to at the time, but I called my boss right after I lost the sale or won the sale, right? And so it wasn't like 3 days later we're talking about what I could have done better or why I lost the sale or something like that. It was immediate, so that I was able to use the time right after that in a positive way. And so the challenge for your listeners is, what do they do immediately after they lose the sale so that they can turn it around literally in a New York minute and be in a positive mindset again?
Really important lesson. Thank you for that. Now, Jen, we're celebrating our Women in Fitness Month this month. And you, I know, how exciting is that? And we have the most amazing lineup of incredible women who are guests alongside you during this month. And I know that you've had incredible personal success. So I was hoping that you maybe could give some advice to our female listeners on your tips on pursuing their career goals.
Okay. Being a female, and I am sure men will agree with me, being a female, you have extraordinary power. So don't think you're at a disadvantage, because the minute you think that, you're going to act like that. Your actions are a direct reflection of your thoughts. So if you think I'm a female and I'm at a disadvantage because I'm a female and it's going to be so hard to break these barriers, blah, blah. Sure, it's hard. But you know what? A man could have just as difficult of a time. So forget all that, stay positive, and just take consistent actions that are going to make you best.
We're going to come back to chat with Jen in just a second, but first, here's a message from one of our podcast partners. We'd like to thank our sponsor, One Fit Stop, for their support, and we highly recommend all fitness professionals go to onefitstop.com to find out how their software will enable you to take control of day-to-day management in your fitness business. One Fit Stop's scheduling, client management, programming, and payment collection tools will set your business up for success. Okay, so I think by now you can hear how much energy Jen has. So I decided I'd make the most of that for this week's FitBizspiration, and I asked her tips on having a yes attitude in sales, in work, and in life.
Ooh, I love it. All right, wake up and work out. Are you surprised by that one?
No, but it's so perfect.
Wake up and work out. Read positive, take 15 or 20 minutes a day to read positive. And since you said yes attitude, and that's obviously a play on Jeffrey Gitomer's work, read the Yes Attitude book. There's a new one coming out at the end of the year, and it's the 10th year, new and revised edition. I'm the editor, and it's going to be awesome. So you can get the current copy now online on Kindle or whatever, but just search for Yes Attitude and get the new and revised edition.
How perfect. And Jen, while we've got you, tell everyone about your podcast that you do with Jeffrey.
Yeah, so we have a show called Sell or Die. We'd love to have you on as a guest.
Phenomenal.
And we air once a week. It's an interview. We interview business owners, CEOs, heads of sales, even salespeople sometimes. And we just try to have a good time. It's a lot of fun. Sell or Die, you can find it on iTunes, Overcast, any of the podcast apps that you use to listen to this podcast.
Perfect. And one more thing, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to find out more about Sales in a New York Minute, where should they go to check you out?
Go to my website, salesinanewyorkminute.com. You will find everything there. If you want to reach out to me, I love getting emails, Jen at Sales in a New York Minute. It actually looks like Jen at Sales in Any Minute because New York is abbreviated.com. But you can email me from the site. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'm active on social. So, salesinanewyorkminute.com.
Fantastic. And needless to say, we'll put all of those links in today's show notes. So, Jen, it was such a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for jumping on the show, and thank you for joining us for the Fitness Business Podcast.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to Jen for coming on the show. I really encourage you to listen to the Sell or Die podcast. And Jen also mentioned Jeffrey Gitomer's famous book, The Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude, how to find, build, and keep a yes attitude for a lifetime of success. I've made it super easy for every single one of our FBP family, and I've put a link of that book in today's show notes over at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com.
Get ready for this week's bonus segment, your extra injection of information, education, and inspiration to strengthen your fitness business.
Today, I'm joined by JP Richard, the president of Tribe Team Training in North America. Welcome to the show, JP.
Thanks, Chantal. Love to be here.
Now, I wanted to invite you on the show to hear an update about Tribe Team Training. But before we do any of that, I want to say a huge thank you because you've just confirmed that Tribe Team Training will be joining us as a podcast partner for another 12 months. That is absolutely sensational. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Chantal. I got to say that all of us with Tribe Team Training around the world are really excited to support the podcast for another year. So we're very excited. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much for your support. Now, I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity for you to tell our new listeners, what is Tribe Team Training?
Great. That's a great question, Chantal. Actually, what we do is we actually help health clubs fill the gap between one-on-one personal training, and large group exercise, and everything that means. So we provide a comprehensive playbook to allow clubs to make this department bigger than they ever thought possible.
So tell me this, how does the financial side work? I mean, what does success look like for clubs when you implement Tribe into a club?
Right. Well, every club has different goals. And by the way, that's a great question. Every club has different goals to what success actually means. But the benchmarks we tend to use or the questions I ask health clubs owners are, is your team training or your small group training department generating as much revenue as your personal one-on-one training department? If not, I would look into that. Other clubs measure by having higher retention rates. So the stats that we collect from all of our clubs have amazing retention rates in these small group training programs month after month, year after year. Or perhaps success is having that attractive point of difference for your business that other competitors don't have around you. Or when you look at the suite of offerings that you have within your clubs, do you have, cutting edge programmings that cater to a wide demographic, or is it simply to a certain type of individual? And so Tribe Team Training, we help clubs get these things, find out what success means to that club owner or to that department head, and find that way to enable that.
JP, I saw recently on social media that you've been promoting season 5 of Tribe Team Training. So can you tell us a little bit more about what clubs actually get as part of working with Tribe?
That's a great question too, Chantal. Yeah, so essentially, we're currently in season 5 of 2017, and essentially all the programs that we offer. So we provide programming as part of our offering to health clubs, and they all work off a similar system. So when we talk about season 5, it's just sort of where we are in the calendar. But more than that, we offer more than just progressive programs with measured results for health clubs, as we offer a variety of different programs that cater to different demographics. We offer a ton of marketing and ongoing support, training their front house salespeople, their membership people, if they have these types of people. We work with clubs to create a funnel to allow for a massive amount of people to come through their department into their small group training or team training departments. So all this is included in how we help health clubs achieve more than they ever thought possible in this department.
Well, JP, I've got to tell you, I'm particularly excited because for the first time ever in about 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be doing my very first Tribe Team Training session over there in the States. So I'm really excited to give it a go. So thank you for coming on today and sharing all that information with us about Tribe Team Training. Now, for any of the listeners that want to find out more and want to check out whether or not Tribe is the right solution for their club, then what do they need to do?
I think we set up a great little link at the show notes at the bottom of this podcast.
Yep, that's exactly right. So what you need to do, guys, is head over to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. On there, you'll see the Tribe Team Training logo. If you click on that logo, then it will take you directly through to find out more information. JP, thank you so much, first of all, for your ongoing support of the show. And thanks for joining us today to give us a little bit more insight into Tribe Team Training.
Thank you, Chantal.
Precore Quickfire 5.
This week's Precore Quickfire 5 guest is Amanda Vogel. As you're going to be hearing, Amanda is involved in many areas of the fitness industry. And one in particular that we chat about next week is her blog, which you can find at fitnesstestdrive.com, where she reviews fitness technology, exercise gear, and workout wear. How good does that job sound? We're going to hear all about that a little bit more next week. But for now, here's Amanda Vogel for the Precore Quickfire 5. Amanda, thank you for joining us for our Precore Quickfire 5. Are you ready for your questions?
I am. Bring 'em on.
Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I like to help other people, and specifically other fitness professionals. I know that fitness professionals are out there to help other people get better at health and fitness. And so anything that I can do to help facilitate that process with getting fitness professionals on track with social media, better at fitness writing, figuring out fitness blogging, and figuring out how to do their marketing better, that can only help them reach the masses in the best way possible. And that's what I'm here for.
And what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
You know what? I come from a background of fitness writing and fitness presenting. And if you let rejection and people saying no to you stop you, you will end very early in terms of having goals in those directions. So one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got is to just kind of, go your own way, know what feels right to you, trust your instinct in terms of what you feel like you can do, and just leave all the negative feedback and rejection behind and move forward. Learn from it when you can, but don't let it bog you down.
What's a personal habit that helps you become better at what you do?
Okay, so I work from home, and there's a lot of opportunity to get distracted in lots of different directions away from work. So one personal habit that I have is, first of all, to wake up pretty early in the morning. I'm a morning person, and I find, through experience, I've learned that my most productive time is first thing in the morning when I first wake up. I can get a lot done in that first hour after I wake up compared to even the rest of the day. So, a personal habit is to just sit down and get as much done in that first hour of the morning that I can. And then the second part of it, because I do work from home, I make sure that I get dressed every day versus working in my pajamas, because that kind of sets the wrong mindset for me. I got to at least get dressed to the point where I would be okay if, like, the mailman came to the door to deliver a package and I wasn't in my pajamas in the middle of the afternoon.
Amanda, I totally hear you, because I'm sitting here right now, and I'll tell you, I'll make a confession for you. I had to do an interview this morning on camera. I have my top half dressed in my corporate makeup look, the whole thing. My bottom half is tights and sneakers.
I love it.
But the point of the matter is, I'm exactly the same. In order to be effective during the day, I have got to get into an outfit that is not PJs and Ugg boots. Otherwise, I'm not effective during the day. So I understand.
Yeah, good. I'm glad we're on the same page
We're on
there.
the same page, totally. Okay, what's one book, blog, or podcast you'd recommend, and why?
Okay, well, of course, I'm going to recommend this podcast. Highly effective for generating inspiration and ideas toward fitness business. If I were to pick a book, one of the ones that has helped me a lot, and I've read it in the last year, I'd say, is one by a woman named Amy Cuddy, and it's called Presence. A lot of it has to do with adopting powerful body language in order to really change the way that you think and feel about yourself, so that you feel more confident getting out there and doing the things that you want to do and accomplishing your goals. It's really interesting. There's a lot of research in it, but also a lot of practical tips as well. That's Presence by Amy Cuddy, Cuddy.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll make sure that we get the link for that and share it with our listeners in today's show notes. Last but not least, what are we going to be chatting about when you join us in next week's show?
Oh, we're going to be chatting about how to become a guest blogger on other people's blogs. So I'm assuming that most people will want to be blogging about health and fitness topics. And I'm going to talk about all about how to do that, how to know what blogs accept guest bloggers, how you can actually make money from it, and a few key points about what you need to know as you're approaching a particular blog to become a guest blogger.
I am so excited about this topic, Amanda, because I know that so many of our listeners are experts in certain areas and have the information to share, but sometimes it's hard to know how to actually get it out there and share that information. So I cannot wait to hear your advice on guest blogging. So thank you so much for joining us today, Amanda, for the Precor Quickfire 5.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Before I sign off for today's show, I want to tell you about an exciting event coming up in just a few weeks' time. We're hosting our next FBP Family Meetup on the first day of Club Industry Show 2017. The date is Wednesday, October the 4th, and the time is 6 a.m. It is free of charge to take part in the meetup. Everyone is invited to come along. It is an active networking event, and basically what we do is we walk for about 45 minutes. We're going around Millennium Park, and then we return back to the Hilton for Club Industry Show by 6:50 a.m. What a way to start the morning. The FBP Family Meetup is the perfect way to start the day, and you never know who you're going to meet. So I want to say thank you right now to everyone who has already registered. It is awesome to see the registrations coming in, and I'm getting very, very excited for this meetup. If you would like to register, all you need to do is head over to www.fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Up the top of the homepage, you're going to see a link to the meetup. You just need to click on that link and register, leave your details. That's all. I hope to see lots and lots of you there. Okay, thank you so much to all of you for including the Fitness Business Podcast as part of your weekly professional development. I'd love you to share the show with your team, and don't forget all of the resources, the links, and the transcripts for today's show can also be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Thanks to all of our partners for their support and our foundation partner, Active Management. Go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/active for a free business development ebook. That is all for this week's show. I'll see you next week. And remember, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.